Now, I had some people questioning my position on keeping interest rates high when the economy is doing what it's doing right now. I want to explain to you, if you're going to abide by MMT, which is Milton Friedman, you should actually read his book, the text that he wrote on the subject of MMT. He wrote the book on it. He basically created the concept of MMT, and how MMT functions is basically how Milton Friedman said so. Why? Because he said so. I understand there's an MMT too coming out of the Chicago School. There's nothing wrong with that. I haven't read their work yet. I haven't read the current head of the economics department of Chicago School yet. I haven't read his work. I've read his PhD thesis, or how he obtained or was awarded his PhD, but I haven't read any of his work since then. And I don't know if I'm going to. It's not out of disrespect. It's just I have so much time in the day, and these books are very heavy, and sometimes you have to go outside of the text to verify what they're saying so you can understand the veracity of his claims. Traditionally, I am a Bastiat man. I am a huge fan of Bastiat. He was probably the best economist. He was the first capitalist that we know of. Adam Smith was not a capitalist. He was a mercantilist. He was based on the scholastics routine, or scholastics out of France. He basically plagiarized what the scholastics were saying. And those are imperialists. Those are mercantilists. They only want to expand their markets, not necessarily improve the quality and the capital structure within the markets they live in. And so, I understand. I'm a friend of Mises. I've been a friend of Mises for 15 plus years, 16 years now, 17 years, since I was involved with the Bitcoin project. It was basically when I started reading most of the Mises stuff, is when I got involved with the Bitcoin stuff. That's the dev team, that is. So, the reason why I was saying hold the inflation rate, or rather the interest rate, inflation rate low, interest rate high, is because within modern monetary theory, the idea is if you hold the interest rate at a certain level, the economy will adapt to it. As it's kind of like when you change the laws, the economy adapts to the law. Well, if you hold the interest rate high, the economy adapts to it. So if we're up here with the inflation rate, one of these days I'll have a green screen. One of these days I'll be wealthy enough to afford a green screen so I can point at stuff. And if you have your interest rate high, and the economy is used to being down here, where wealth is easy to obtain and the money has very little value, just you print it out and you throw it away, it's pure consumption stuff, a mush of consumption down here. And you hold it up here, the interest rate up here instead, where the value of the money has to go up. Then what you do is you force the economy to restructure it into a durable economy, which this means is your country will produce more durable goods. So instead of just fast food services, easy, basically, to put it in vernacular, prostitution lifestyle down here to getting married and having a real job lifestyle up here, to put it in vernacular. Now, to remove ourselves from vernacular, since we're up here, we're trying to get a real job, have a family, a wife and everything, durable goods, you understand? The difference between the two now? Cheap life is worthless down here because the money is easy, and you just pay for somebody new to come along. Versus up here, where you have to be able to sustain stuff. So you want to be able to build your economy up here, because what it does is it allows for your domestic manufacturing to work on domestic goods in a durable fashion. So instead of just, cheap over the night stuff that, you can make with very little impact or very little involvement, like, companies like Yo, which had no money, just they threw a bunch of money in it to make money off of flipping it. And what did the company do? It wrote an app that said Yo on your phone. That's all it did. That has literally no utility value to anybody anywhere. So up here, companies will produce products worth owning, like cars. Not necessarily saying cars are worth owning, but stuff that you could use that actually have utility. We produce cars, desks, computers worth owning that aren't stuck at 4 gigabytes of RAM from 20 years ago when that was a thing. Up here. So your interest rate's up here. Your PCs will advance in technology. Your cars will advance in reliability because it costs too much to have service going on because you're not down here anymore. Down here, the service is cheap, so the cars are very unreliable. Up here, they have to be more reliable because service is no longer cheap. Do you understand? You want it up here. What this does is when it's up here, it forces the economy to restructure. So the economy restructures to providing durable goods. And once it provides durable goods, and once it starts building durable goods, the means of obtaining production, the means of production, becomes more likely up here because now you have the ability to produce something worth owning. And once you can produce something worth owning, more people want things worth owning. But if you're down here, nobody cares. They'll just outsource it to somebody else because services are cheap. And you can just turn production into a service and make somebody else deal with the end result of the waste material. If it's toxic waste, just outsource it. Here, we don't outsource. Down here, we outsource. You tracking? No outsourcing. Outsourcing. This is basically what Milton Friedman was saying. This is how I can tell you didn't actually read anything Milton Friedman said. And I know Tom Woods and the other Rob said a bunch of other stuff that involves the other stuff, the basic how the economy will function, monetary side, the value of the money and all this stuff. I understand all that. I understand everything that they were saying. I agree and don't agree because I don't agree that we can sit here and patsy about with the ideal system because we don't have an ideal system. We never will. I 100% like libertarianism. I 100% agree with libertarianism. The problem is we don't live in a libertarian system. We live in a pseudo-conservative system. And by pseudo-conservative system, it's the left is marketing to conservatives. Majority of the country is 100% conservative. Majority of the country is religious, predominantly Christian, and the left, the atheistic left, and the communist left is basically marketing all their services to us. And we don't want that because we want to make wealth, not hand it to them. Do you understand? We want wealth. We shouldn't be suffering and living in poverty when it's our country, not handing it to them. Tracking? We good? Is it clear now why I say interest rates need to be higher? Durable economy, manufacturing, reliable goods, cars worth owning, houses worth owning, ending infinite illegal immigration, infinite outsourcing, infinite crime, infinite drug rate, infinite gang membership, infinite gangs. No gang problem, no single mother problem. You tracking? You can fix it just like this. It's one easy thing. And the only thing you have to be willing to do is to let this economy, this lifestyle die. Let this lifestyle suffer. Yeah, it's going to suck for them. It's going to suck for us having to deal with the fact that they're going to suffer. But that's the only way for that to go away is for this to exist. You have to create the conditions for this to get rid of this. We clear now? It's not anti-human. It's not cold-hearted. It's not any of that. We're not psychopaths. We understand the problem directly. What would really fix it if there wasn't a Federal Reserve? But, since the Federal Reserve does exist and Jerome Powell is the last word and everything, we have this, since it does exist. Since we don't want this problem, we need to just fix it here. You understand? You can say, well, the stock markets will do terribly. The stock market's notional. It's an abstraction of reality. If they go up, and nothing else has changed, it means the dollar's value may have gone down. So maybe these people got more money, or maybe the economy is doing well enough that these people have extraneous wealth, or rather extraneous dollars to put onto the market. The people who most likely put money on the market, these guys. Because most of these guys don't even have any money at all. It's all on debt and credit. Understand? And the wealthy ones down here that do have money usually don't spend it on stock market stuff. They usually spend it on gold chains and stuff. Not saying that that's wrong. Gold is good. It's just their investment patterns are different than up here. Up here, we usually spend it on stock market stuff, investing in the markets, investing in big business, investing in businesses that have a lot of stability and a track record of, paying back, and investing on durable goods. Whereas down here, they usually just 20-inch rims and gold chains. You understand? It's not bigotry, it's just understanding how the economy is structured and what things are valued at what weight. These things weigh less on your soul, these things weigh heavy on your soul. Tracking now, everything is within a spectrum of understanding. But I'd like to... Tom Woods is still one of the best economists. He's not even an economist, is he? Is he an economist? I don't know. It's so hard to tell if Tom Woods is an economist now. Murray Rothbard was fantastic. Obviously, Ludwig von Mises. And the Ron Paul Institute. Yeah. Those are the people I learned all this stuff from. It was a very long journey for me. Milton Friedman was a very long read. Oh, good Lord. He wrote a lot of stuff. That man was very prolific.